All right, some great action today with a bounce right where we expected it. Essentially, what we had mentioned this morning, as well as during Friday's session, was that price was coming into that key daily pivot that you can see here, the blue zone on this ES daily chart. Now, Friday's action, Friday's daily bar closed as a doji, and as I mentioned this morning, this can generally indicate a change in the current direction. The current direction all of last week, obviously a downtrend there with 4 consecutive sessions lower. So Friday's action marks an end to that downtrend and you get the bounce today. Now what we're looking at for today's action, pretty much off the open, was some strength above that 47.35 level. The significance of this level, once again, remember this blue zone is that area, that prior area of resistance, now support on the daily time frame chart. So we want to see buyers holding above that 47.35 level. Now price opens regular trading hours above that 47.35, breaks some prior day structure point. One of the things I had mentioned this morning in the pre-market prep live stream was if this area can break, we should look for that retest of the prior day high. If prior day high can break, remember zooming out here, 15 or 30 minute chart, what we'll see is a change in character on the near term trend. As a reminder, prior to today's action, we were dealing with a downtrend, right, on the near term, on the 30-minute chart. So starting the year off with some selling, you have a series of lower highs. The challenge with the setup on Thursday, Friday, and then this morning was the fact that price was testing a major area of daily support, that blue zone there. However, the near-term action was showing a downtrend. So as a reminder, that's a misalignment on the various time frames. On the daily, you have a big area of support. Daily and weekly charts show an uptrend. Near-term action, that 30-minute chart shows a downtrend. The best trades, or the most obvious trades, the easiest trades are going to occur when we have an alignment among all the time frames, right? And so once this prior day high broke, I had mentioned, we could see some stronger long opportunities so long as price showed acceptance above that prior day high. Because what you have here is when price breaks that prior day high, again, you show that change in character. You show that the near-term downtrend is coming to an end, or at least buyers are attempting to end that near-term downtrend. Now, price did show pretty solid follow through up through that prior day high, now into that 4,800 level. So the question, as always, is, what is going to be next? What are we going to be looking at for tomorrow's session? So for Tuesday, what I'll be looking at is the reaction versus the 4,800 level. That's going to be a big psychological level. We do have some prior near-term structural importance there as well at the 4,800 level. Anytime you have a big trend day like we saw today, you want to be real careful with your upside expectations. Generally speaking, after those big expansion moves, it's not uncommon to see some sort of inside day. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just see some action through here for tomorrow's session and then maybe some follow through on Wednesday. Now, buyers' main objective for tomorrow, again, is to show some move up through the 4,800, and the ultimate target for today's break is the highs up here, the 48.41 area, 48.50 area, right up through here, those recent highs. So what we have here now, if we zoom out, is just a big sideways range, right? So we're just using levels that we've been using from weeks prior, nothing really all that new, trading in the same levels, same zones from weeks prior. If we take a look at this here, let me zoom in to get a little bit more of an accurate picture. Near-term volume point of control remains at that 47.68. So this will be a significant area above this 47.90. We are into the volume void, right? Kind of in the middle of that volume void right now with that end of day action, that test of 4,800. Now these volume voids tend to fill pretty quickly, so I won't be surprised to see a test up here into the 48.10, maybe even 48.20, and then we're getting up into the range high But big picture, what we're looking at on the daily and weekly chart is that buyers have showed that they are, again, interested in defending this area. We see buyer step in versus this key daily zone. They hold the pivot, bounce where we expected it to, and now it's just back into intermediate term range trading. So looking at, again, the past, if I flip to the hourly chart, it'll be a little more clear here, but the past 2 to 3 weeks, just intermediate term range trading. So downtrend breaks, near term downtrend breaks, back into the range. Keep it simple tomorrow. One level, 4,800 main watch for tomorrow's session. Let's take a look at NQ. Very similar type of setup, back into some prior structural levels right here at the 16,790 area, right where I have this level right through here. Prior lows all through here from early December, now acting as some potential resistance. A little bit different story on the NQ chart. You do have, looks like that volume point of control was right through here. You do have a big high volume node right here at the 16,850, and then the volume point of control up here at the 1,700. So still some significant levels to be keeping an eye on with NQ. Definitely the 16,850 is going to be a big level. Check the high volume node. As a reminder, with the high volume node, this just shows you where most of the volume has transacted through price. So it's a look at volume through price rather than volume through time. These high volume nodes, as well as volume point of controls, are usually going to be fairly significant levels. You want to watch how price reacts versus those zones. They can act as support resistance levels. So NQ, pretty similar. I do think the setup in ES is a bit cleaner currently as far as the structure is concerned. Taking a look at the NQ daily, once again, nice doji there, right where we had prior resistance, now holding as support. Pretty typical stuff here. Prior resistance, right through here. Price breaks out. Not unusual to see a retest of the breakout point. So on the big picture, again, what do we look at? A retest of the highs and then continuation. Now this can be, in weeks, potentially in months to come. It's not something that you want to be looking for necessarily tomorrow, but just to keep, forward thinking, open mind here about what the big picture setup is showing. Pretty straightforward stuff, to be honest. On NQ, we'll be looking at, the action versus today's high. So to keep it super easy in both ES and NQ, just watch the reaction versus today's high. Buyers will be looking to show that follow through into some even higher levels. Now, as far as individual names, list remains pretty dry. I'll be looking at Boeing as a potential second day. We did have the long on watch today. It just about tested PT1, but not much follow through there. So we'll be treating that as a true second day play for tomorrow. And then we do have Coin, a bit of a washout, did not trigger. This was on watch today as well, looking for strength above that 161 area. Never triggered. Setup still looks pretty good. So we'll see if we get that follow through up through 161. That's about it for today, guys. As a reminder, just on the index, looking at prior day high as kind of the main watch into tomorrow's session. Hope everyone had a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for the pre-market prep live stream. Take care.